Yeah.
Get 3 Purple Hearts and a Silver Star on one day. On Normandy Beach.
Boy.
Can you imagine?
Did you know that Sharice was actually the property manager at Golden Gate by the landlord? Appointed by the landlord?
Oh. It being 3 o'clock.
Calls being Delano.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recording Secretary Douglas Zwicky. Present we have Commission Chairman Douglas Needham. Unfortunately, Commissioner Mayhew is absent today, and we also have Commissioner Tarr present.
Staff present includes Chief Chris Adams, Captain Matthew Canfield, Lieutenant Richard Simmons, Lieutenant Alan Grayton, and Lieutenant Thomas Sweat, and Prosecutor Sawyer may arrive shortly.
He's in court, so
In court.
probably not.
We have a quorum with the 2 commission members present, so let's move on to the agenda, personnel matters, commendations, and awards.
Nothing under that category today.
Training, the chair recognizes Lieutenant Grayton.
I have 3 requests for you to vote on later for out-of-state training. One is Technology Threats and Transit Narcotic Investigations for Detective Kendra Neer and Detective Daniel Carson. It's April 4th through the 5th. There's no cost for this, and this is going to be held at the New England HIDA, which is in Methuen, Massachusetts. Second one is American Association of Police Polygraphists Annual Conference. This is being held in Houston, Texas for Detective Sergeant Butler, because he's our polygraph operator. This is a conference he's required to attend every 2 years. The total cost for this is between $1,350 and $1,395, and that is April 23rd through the 28th. And a third one, which wasn't in your packet, is Female Enforcers, Leadership Amongst Female Officers. This is going to be held in Dorchester, Massachusetts. Officer Cardinal, Officer Callanane, and Officer Legier. This is on March 27th. Total cost for this class is $387. This is presented by Caliber Press.
Question on the, one
Sure.
of the trainings, Lieutenant. How many certified examiners does the PD have?
We have
Polygraph.
one, just Detective Sergeant Butler.
Have we always had one certified polygraph?
Since we've had a polygraph, yes.
He was the first one we've ever had, at least since I've been here.
Miscellaneous Laconia links. Chief Adams?
I think there was 2 articles in the links. One was the Citizen Academy graduation up at the Taylor home. It was a nice photograph of the participants and the lieutenant and the cake, along with the spelling mistake. We didn't do the cake. Somebody else did. And then the children's auction. Every year, as you know, we man the phone banks for an hour, and we had a group of about 10 people that did that, which was great. Made us wear funny hats. I think that was it for the links.
Resignations and retirements.
Nothing under that category.
Hirings. Chair recognizes Lieutenant Grayton.
We're still in the process of the backgrounds for the 5 candidates. 3 of them are almost fully complete. Expect a hiring date of February 6th for 3 officers.
That would bring us up to full complement. Yes.
Correct.
And of course, we have the graduation for the 2 officers that are at the academy tomorrow, so they'll be back in the mix of things. And
Yep, starting on Monday.
Any of those 3 on the wait list, are they certified?
We have one that's full New Hampshire certified, correct, yep. So she will not have to go to the academy.
Promotions and reorganization.
nothing under the category.
Division Bureau Commanders Forum. Captain Canfield.
In your packet, you'll notice the notice of holidays for 2017. In the next section, we'll ask for a vote on those, to set those for next year. Been working with the schools and a company called CopSync, which is a computer program that gets installed in the schools. It's an emergency notification system. The schools and our department has applied for a Homeland Security grant, which is going to cover the full cost of that for the first year if we get approved for it, which we probably will.
Every teacher have that capability in their classroom?
They will, yeah. They'll be able to have it on their phones as well as their computers in the school, and they'll be able to click on the app, and it'll notify us immediately. And it'll also open up a dialogue box so we can have constant communication with them. So,
Good program.
it is a great program. It's being pushed by Homeland Security, and their goal is to get most of the state on board with this, so. In combination with that, we're working on an active shooter drill training. In January, we'll be doing supervisors training for command and control of such an event, followed by a tabletop exercise that we'll be doing in conjunction with other departments, the fire department, Woodland Heights School, and the hospital. And the goal is to have a full-scale exercise in August. And that's it.
Support Division, Lieutenant Green.
This month, we're going to be conducting, actually next week, conducting our recertification for tasers for all the officers. And then in January, we'll be having our first aid CPR recertification for all the officers as well.
Operations Division, Lieutenant Simmons.
As you know, the DARE program just ended. That's something we talked about last time. Great program. Michelle did a great job. One of the big benefits doing the schedule, now that that's over, we got an extra body. So I started putting people on the schedule for the 6 to 2:30 overlap shift. It's helpful to have somebody else out there on the street, and hopefully it'll cut back on some overtime costs for things that happen at the end of the shift. We've been meeting with Officer Marcello from Belmont PD about our Explorers. He's been doing a lot of work there. He's been running the program over in Belmont, and now we're going to be running it in connection. It'll be us, Belmont, and Guilford. So we've just sent in our charter for that, so hopefully that'll get up and running shortly. And as far as stats, you know, our calls for service are roughly the same as they were last year at this time. Accidents are down a little bit, but that, I think, a lot attributes to weather. You know, I'm looking outside today. I'm sure those numbers will start coming up, unfortunately, but that's all I have.
Plans for replacing the DARE officer?
We've actually put a notice out, correct me if I'm wrong, for officers who are interested in that program, so we're kind of waiting to see what the response is, and then we'll start the process. Big shoes to fill with Michelle, so she did a great job. And
Detective Division, Lieutenant Sweat.
Just quickly, if there's any questions on the numbers, or also we did a sweep with Granite Hammer earlier this week, and that was paid for by that grant, and it was very gratifying to see the amount of cooperation we got from area agencies. It was very effective.
How many, I'm not asking for particulars, but some familiar names, I assume, in that group, or
I missed the question.
some familiar names in
They're familiar to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did see some of the same people we know or we've dealt with in
Yeah.
the past, and, yeah.
It's notable that a number of them were already incarcerated.
Prosecutor Sawyer's not here, so let's moving on. Orders and bulletins, Lieutenant Grayton.
Do you have any questions on the orders and bulletins in the packet?
None.
I might, hold on a second. I was just curious, Lieutenant, about the 3-year physical fitness testing.
Mhm.
What exactly is that? What is that program?
All officers hired after 2001 are required to meet the 35th percentile of the Cooper standards every 3 years
Oh.
to retain their certification.
After 2001, that one is?
Yes. Yep. So every 3 years from their hire date, they have to complete those, the physical fitness standards to be able to keep their certification.
So prior to that, they're grandfathered in.
Correct.
Thank you.
Do you need a motion right now, reference to training?
Is this where they do that?
Commission action.
Under commission action.
Okay.
Yes.
The Secretary's draft for the minutes was sent to you, and a copy is in your meeting packet. Please let me know if there are any errors. Are there any corrections to the minutes as distributed? If there are no corrections, the minutes stand as accepted and distributed. I can take a motion now to approve the training recommended by Lieutenant Grayton.
I move that we approve the training as presented for the officers involved.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Consider it done. Monthly activity reports. Department highlights. Chief Adams?
So department activity for the month of November, we had 25 domestic disturbances, 76 general disturbances, 11 suicidal subjects, 6 violation of restraining orders. We had 16 volunteer hours for LPD personnel, 15 hours for the victim service unit, who serviced 18 victims. Can you slide down to the, are we at the stats part yet? Let me just, so you can see here, on aggravated assaults, that's up. We've had 60 so far compared to 43 last year, so those are felony level type assaults, so serious assaults, which is concerning, although our simple assaults are down 7%. Can you just scroll down to the bottom? Thanks. Overall, crimes against person have down 5% compared to last year. Yep, stop right there. You see the robbery numbers have crept up again, so we've had 13 year-to-date compared to 7 last year. Last year, we had a low year. The year before that, I think we had 20 robberies reported. Burglaries, pretty much right on par as last year. Shoplifting numbers gone down a little bit from 180 to 150. If you just go to the bottom of that, Lieutenant, keep going. So total crimes against property up by 12% compared to last year. You see the drug numbers there at 205 compared to 185. A lot of that is because of the work of the drug unit patrol officers, especially on midnight shift, have been super busy with drug investigation, drug arrest, and then, of course, the drug sweeps that we've had. And Group B crimes, if you could just scroll down a little more, up 6% year-to-date, so.
Chief?
Yes.
The trespassing continues to be a real problem, it looks like. Is a big percentage of that caused by transients or homeless people?
A lot of that is, for example, this weekend, we arrested 3 people that were living in the parking garage in one of the storage utility closets. So it is a lot of that. And there may be some other type cases, but I think a lot of it's that transient population or people that have been barred from certain properties that are trespassing.
How would you characterize the homeless problem in the city? Is it significant or?
I think there's two types of homeless population. There's the one that you see living on the streets that may be panhandling. I think that number is probably around the 20 to 25 range. And then you have the homeless families who are couch surfing, which is a far larger number. I think that's probably in the hundreds. So there's, it's definitely a concern, definitely an issue this time of year. Obviously, the concern is for their well-being. There's always a certain percentage that, are injured because of frostbite or die in the state, which is unfortunate, and we try to reach out to those who we know are living on the streets, and believe it or not, there are people that, right here in Laconia, a couple of years ago, we had a gentleman that lived outside the whole winter in a tent. And, I think eventually he was brought to the hospital because of his condition, but
Carey House is the only shelter.
the Carey House, yes, but the Belknap House is the new family winter shelter, and I believe they're due to open in January, and I'm not quite sure how many rooms they have, but definitely another resource.
We also regularly use 211. There are area cold weather shelters in Manchester and Concord.
Say that again?
211, you dial 211, there's a cold weather shelter, I believe, in Concord and Manchester that service this area also.
Oh.
So the Salvation, I'm sorry.
Concord was struggling with a shelter until just the other day. They had no place. And then the mayor pulled another rabbit out of his hat down there, I guess, for this winter, but it's, every year at this time, they have to.
Yeah, they used to have
Last minute.
they had a cold winter one that then, like you said, closed down, and then I think they just,
Only did it for 1 year,
okay,
but, and they didn't have a place until just the other day, and they haven't announced where it is, except that they did secure some facility down there.
okay, yeah.
That's a tough problem.
Does the
It is.
Salvation Army have any overnight facilities?
The
for-
Carey House,
Just
which is
the Carey
part
House,
of the
nothing-
Salvation Army, yeah,
Okay.
yep. That's it for the numbers.
Okay, criminal investigative unit statistics, that's
Just
been done?
most of the hands-on stuff up quite a lot over last year. And a lot of it is a coordinated effort between Lieutenant Simmons and I to make sure cases keep moving and try to take some of the pressure off patrol investigations.
And patrol division statistics, done?
Yeah, unless you have any further questions.
Budget printout, Captain Canfield.
Do you have any questions? You'll see there'll be an adjustment coming out. I think I've mentioned it before, the issue with the phone line item. That's been straightened out. So there should be, the credits are being calculated, but that should be coming through in the next month.
And you'll be having you'll be able to reprogram some money into training, I assume, because that looks like that was pretty much depleted already.
Yeah. That's not quite accurate. There was a encumbrance there for a grant that went to that line item. That's a reimbursable grant for, I think, $17,000. It was charged to the training line item when it shouldn't have been, so that's being corrected. It should reflect better next month.
Traffic statistics,
Like Lieutenant Simmons said, we have 49 accidents in November. 10 of those were with injury. Obviously, with the snowstorms that are coming, it's going to increase the numbers, and remind the motoring public to be careful and give yourself enough room and don't drive fast. And
it was amazing standing down there ringing the bell, watching the
Right.
cars roll right through, ignore the stop sign,
right,
and just, go right
it's
through.
amazing. I was standing there in uniform. People did more than roll through. They drove through. Maybe they were trying to avoid giving money to the Salvation Army. I don't know, but it's pretty amazing. And 10 of those accidents were, the cause was driver inattention, distraction, which isn't a surprise.
Still seeing a lot of cell phone use and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Even ringing the bell, one lady talking, or rode right by the officer,
Yep.
It's
It's unbelievable.
quickly told her to get off the phone. Correspondence.
We had quite a few correspondences. The first one was an email from, it was actually from an officer, but it was for some gift cards for Aroma Joe's from a taxi driver, just thanking us for everything we do. There was another note that came from an anonymous citizen with coffee cards, thanking us also for what we do. There was a note from the American Cancer Society thanking us for supporting them. Email from one of the interns thanking us for his experience. A note from Melcher and Prescott with a cutout of, I think it was Article 4, when we were serving turkey dinner up at Woodland Heights School. Thank you from Lakes Region Softball Organization for supporting them. Thank you from Elm Street School for our participation in the Harvest Festival. Thank you to Lieutenant Simmons from one of the participants of the Citizens Police Academy. A thank you from a participant of Lakes Region Leadership, and they had their social issue days recently, and part of that was riding with our officers. So I'll talk a little bit more when I do my report out on that. I got an email from a resident of Old North Main Street regarding speeding vehicles, so we're looking into that, and we'll try setting up some of our traffic monitoring equipment up there to kind of see what's going on.
Do you, Chief, regularly reach out to citizens when you get a letter like this?
Yes, if I get something, I'll respond to them, email, usually it's an email, I'll respond to them and thank them from obviously acknowledging us, so. And we had an email from Principal Bryant over at the middle school, thanking us for participating in family night. And then we had an invitation for Officer Christopher Hobbs. He's a little boy that lives over in Lakeport that has brain cancer, and we've been a part of his life now, seems like forever, but he's doing much better. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend his party this year, but I've attended it probably the last 5 years, and great little kid, and he's doing much, much better, so I think that was it.
He graduated there this year.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah. And the report cards, I think they're all A's, maybe one A and B, but they're all good.
All good.
Yes.
Notice of holidays. Do you need a motion?
Yes.
They didn't do that, right? Okay, yes.
I motion that I move that we approve the notice of holidays as submitted by the Captain Canfield.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved, unanimous.
Thank you. Just a reminder that the Laconia Police Department holiday Christmas luncheon is going to be on the 21st, noontime. Obviously, that's a nice opportunity to see a lot of the retired officers return and get together. We usually do it once a year, so that's always great. We have officers from several decades ago, if not more, that come back every year, so it's always great to see them. Leadership Lakes Region, Lieutenant Simmons and I, like I said, we met with the participants who part of their social issues day was to ride, I think they did 2-hour ride-alongs, and that was one of the emails that you saw from that gentleman who rode with some of our officers, but I think it was a great conversation. We were there for about 45 minutes talking about their experience and what they saw, and I think overwhelmingly it was extremely positive, talking about the officers that they rode with, the calls that they went on, and kind of just law enforcement in general, so that's something that we've been doing now every year with Lakes Region leadership, so. And the family night out, we had, I think, 3 or 4 officers that went over there. It was about 3 or 4 hours eating. Stand Up Laconia was there. They were distributing clothing to some of the families, and then it culminated with dodgeball and basketball, so it was pretty cool to go over there and play with the kids. And Christmas shopping, you saw the photograph there. We had about 15 people shopping over at Walmart. We do it every year, and then we deliver the presents on Christmas Eve. So thankful to the auction because they're a big supporter of that particular program and the funds that's raised.
Who selects the families on that?
The way we do it now is the school district chooses them, so they're very familiar with the families. Before, we kind of received requests from all over the place. So this way, it gives a little more control and oversight. So it's working out well. So we look forward to that. We have, I forget how many kids we shot for. Do you remember? I think we have maybe 30 or 20 or
25.
something like that. Yeah. So, and that is it.
Old business,
Nothing there.
new business. Nothing?
Nothing.
Confirm the date of the next regular or special meeting, January 19th, 2017. Agreeable? Yes. Okay. Other business? Nothing?
Nothing.
Citizen comments. Please state your full name and residence, and you have a period of 2 minutes allotted for your comments. Dennis?
I don't even know what to say anymore.
You're gonna mess with it. The joke? Know what you're gonna say? The joke? No?
All right, hearing no response. Is there a need for a non-public session?
There is not.
Is there a move to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second? Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Consider it done.
Thank you.